Hi, my name is Felix Bohina, and today I will be answering the question, what is the very first step for purchasing a home property? So this is my very first YouTube video, and I'm going to be posting a video every Saturday answering different types of questions regarding uh, houses and real estate, or if you have any specific questions, you can leave them below, and I will try to address them in future videos. So just a little bit of information about myself. I've been doing real estate since I was 21 years old and I'm currently 39. So if you do the math, I've been doing real estate for 18 years. I'm a realtor in the Chicagoland area and surrounding suburbs, but I go pretty far. I've gone all the way down to Aurora, all the way up to Lake Villa. So I'm pretty open with where I see and show properties. So going back to the question, what is my very first step for purchasing a home property? So the first thing is you need to get a pre-approval letter. I know a lot of individuals don't want to get a pre-approval letter. I get it. They call me and they're like, oh, but can I just go see the property? But there's a lot of reasons why you want to get a pre-approval letter. Number one is you want to make sure that you're actually able to buy a property. There's a lot of factors that go into buying a property. For example, your credit score, your down payment, and your employment. So I've had individuals, fresh cops that have been doing it for 6 months, and then they call me, they're excited, they're getting a set salary, they want to buy a house, but turns out that they can't because they've only been in the job for 6 months. So the other thing is your credit score. Credit scores basically have a huge impact on your interest rate. So the better your credit score is, the better interest rate you get. And sometimes even a tenth of a point makes a difference on your payment, and you end up having to wait a little bit longer to get your credit score a little bit higher. And finally, the down payment. There's different types of plans that require different types of down payments, and you might think you have enough, and it turns out that you don't, and you need a little bit more time to save up money. So that's the number one reason. The other reason is that I've had it in the past where individuals fall in love with an unaffordable home, and what that means is, when I was younger, I would get calls. People would say, "Hey, I want to go see a house," and I was young, eager, excited to make the sale. So I'll say, "Yeah, no problem. Let's go see these houses." They end up liking the house, and they're like, "Okay, what's the next step?" Oh, you call your bank, call a loan officer, so you can kind of see if you're qualified for the property. And then it turns out that they're not qualified for that property. So they were looking at $300,000 homes, and all of a sudden it turns out that they could only afford a house that's up to $225,000. So now it's a big difference. $75,000 is a big difference in the type of house, the type of finishes. So if you got used to looking at $300,000 homes, and all of a sudden now you have to buy a 225, it makes it a lot harder for you to mentally get yourself or accept a lower end property. So I've seen it happen plenty of times. So that's another reason you want to try to avoid that. Another thing is that before, realtors didn't care. I started doing real estate when the market was hot, before the big bubble crash. And back then, everyone got approved. You were a fish and you called the bank and said, "Hey, I don't work, but I make $100,000 a year." They're like, "No problem. You're approved." So it was a lot different back then because everyone was getting approved. I mean, it didn't matter if you didn't have a job. It didn't matter if you didn't work. You got approved. So now it's a lot more different. And a lot of realtors will ask for me to send in a pre-qualification letter or a pre-approval letter just to the individuals before they even allow the property. And this happens a lot in higher end homes. And it makes sense. Some of these higher end homes, I mean, I've shown properties in Forest Park where there's bowling alleys in the basement. Paintings are worth thousands of dollars. So they don't just want random people going into the house if they're not really able to afford the property. So I understand that. And then the last thing I tell people is, like, imagine if you have your house for sale and I call you and say, "Hey, John Doe wants to go see your property, but I'm not sure if he's approved." Odds are you're going to say, "Oh, well, make sure he's approved and then he can come see the property." So it's just kind of like a common courtesy thing on why you need to get a pre-approval letter. There's different types of pre-approvals, pre-approval letters, pre-qualification letters. That's a video that I'm going to try to upload maybe sometime next week. But that's basically the very first step that you need, is to get a pre-approval letter. Thanks for watching, and like I said, I'll be bringing in more content on a weekly basis. And if you have any questions or any specific questions that you would like me to answer, go ahead and comment below. Thank you very much, and have a good night, guys.